Hi everyone, this is Melinda from MTZ Crew Designs. Welcome back to another tutorial from the Paint Couture creative team. If you love making fun and super unique crafts, then this video is for you. I have been a huge fan of Alice in Wonderland ever since I was tiny, so today I'm going to show you how I made this Alice in Wonderland themed busted canvas. What's really cool about making a busted canvas is that the only limitation is your creativity. There are so many options to make this type of craft project special and unique. You can make a busted canvas for seasonal decor, a themed party, or just everyday home decor. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is begin working with rapid casting resin from Capital Crafts by Paint Couture. I start by mixing the two-part system in order to pour the mixture into these Alice in Wonderland themed decor molds from Redesign with Prima. When step 1 is mixed equally with step 2 at a ratio by weight or volume, you can create beautiful castings for any project. After pouring them into the molds, it only takes about 10 minutes for the resin to harden and form the castings. Now that the castings are ready to be removed, you'll see that I over-poured on some, so I'm using a small pair of manicure scissors to trim off any excess resin. This was actually a very clever tip that I learned from my friend Alicia from Sunshine Studios. Now, all of my castings are ready for black paint. I'm using Paint Couture's chalk style paint in pitch black. Bear in mind that you can also just buy the rapid casting resin in black to avoid this step, but I didn't have the black one handy when I recorded this step. Paint Couture's chalk style paint dries very quickly and has excellent coverage, so I only need one coat on these castings. And now I'm going to set them aside to dry while I work on the canvases. So these are the two canvases I'll be working with. I believe they are 11 by 14 size, but you can use any size you have available. Just make sure that they are two identical sizes. And I'm going to use these two pieces of decoupage rice paper from AB Studios. This is Sparkling Twilight Playing Cards number 0538 on the left and Checkered Time Zone number 2228 on the right. Now, this is going to be the front canvas. So on the back, I've already used Paint Couture's chalk style paint in Simply White to prepare it for the decoupage paper. I almost always paint my surface in white when I'm going to use decoupage paper because it will allow for the brightest transparency of the colors in the decoupage paper. I'm going to start with adhering the Sparkling Twilight Playing Cards paper to the back of this canvas because this is the paper that I want to be shown when the canvas flaps are busted out. I'm using Paint Couture's Decoupage Medium in Matte. I'm just putting a thin layer down and then I'll lay the paper on top and smooth out any air bubbles with a silicone tool. After I get all of the air bubbles out, then I'll put another thin layer of Decoupage Medium on top. And then I'll set this aside to dry. Now for the other canvas, I'm going to repeat the same process with the other decoupage paper, but this time I'll be putting the paper on the front of the canvas because this is the paper design that I want to be peeking through the area in the middle of the canvas. Now that both of these have dried, I'm going to add Paint Couture's chalk style paint in pitch black to the front and the edges of each canvas. After the pitch black color dries, I'm going to add sheer metallic paint to the front of each canvas. The front canvas, which is the one that is painted in pitch black all over, will get a coat of sheer Scarlet, which is a beautiful sparkle of reddish pink glitter. And for the other canvas, I'm going to use sheer gold. When you work with sheer metallic paints, you just have to remember to mix it well to ensure you get all that metallic goodness that's at the bottom of the jar. Believe me when I say the mixing is so worth it, because these sheer metallic paints have become some of my new faves from Couture paint. The sparkle effect from these paints are just fantastic. You have got to use these if you're not already using them. Now, I really love layers of details in my projects, so now I'm going to use a diamond harlequin design stencil for this front canvas. I'm going to dry brush Paint Couture's Luxe Metallic Paint in Antique Gold all over the outer areas of this canvas. It's just a dry brushing technique, so that means I'm not putting a ton of paint onto the brush, and I'm just applying with a stippling, dabbing motion onto the stencil. So the sheer metallic paints have dried on these canvases, and I just want to show you how you can see that it's just a subtle amount of sparkle, but it's so very effective. This is the gold, and it's so pretty. And this is the sheer Scarlet, and this is the one that's a pinkish red hue, and it's so pretty. So incredibly sparkly and pretty. I love it. So now I'm going to start cutting the front canvas to create the flaps for the busted effect. I'm just using my X-Acto knife to do this, but you could actually just use a pair of scissors. I'm going to start by cutting from the center in a vertical and horizontal direction. And then I'm going to cut diagonally on either side. And this is what's going to create the 8 different flaps. Then once your flaps are cut, you'll begin using a hot glue gun to adhere them. Fold each flap forward and use a little bit of hot glue to adhere each flap down. But don't be like me and burn your fingers off. So you can use a pair of scissors to hold down the flaps to let the glue dry completely before letting go. Yeah, and so now I'm gonna work on the back of the canvas and glue down all of my castings. Once they've all been glued down, now I'm going to use some gold gilding wax to highlight all of them. After they've all been highlighted, then I'm going to glue down the front canvas to the back canvas. And I'm also using my hot glue gun for this part. I'm laying the glue down on the back edges of the front canvas, and then I'll adhere it to the back canvas like this. Once that's dry, I'll add a few more castings to the front canvas for additional embellishments. And after these dry, then I'm going to highlight again with gold gilding wax. And as one final embellishment, I'm using the same gold gilding wax to highlight along the edges of each flap for some added dramatic effect. And then I'll also use the same gilding wax along the edge of the canvas sides for a more cohesive look. And here is the finished look. This busted canvas craft was so much fun to create. I really enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. And that wraps it up for today's tutorial. Again, I'm Melinda from MTZ Crew Designs. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. And if I've inspired you to create with any of Paint Couture's paint products, please feel free to use my affiliate link that will be located down below, along with a full list of all the products that I used today. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of the amazing content that our Paint Couture creative team is putting together for you. Have an awesome day, everyone. Bye.